Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Total Podcast with me, your host, Phil Scott. On this episode of the Total Podcast, I have a very special guest. She's written a wonderful children's book that I think you'll be fascinated by, and you'll be fascinated by her story as well. Her name is Megan Cauthen, and without further delay, let's get started. So, Megan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I
Thank you
truly
for having me.
appreciate it. You're welcome. All right. So, Megan, first of all, before we get started, tell us where you were born or where you went to school, that kind of thing.
Okay. I was born in a small town in South Carolina called Indian Land. Um, and the school I graduated from was Indian Land High School. So,
Wow.
yep, it's a small town. It's growing now, but yeah, it's a small town.
Wow. And tell us about your years in elementary school, high school. How was that for you?
So, um, it was very okay. So, Indian Land, the area I grew up in, like I said, it was very small.
Yes.
Predominantly white area. However, there were, you know, blacks as well. But I feel like since I was there, everybody kind of knew me because we all grew up together. Um, and I would get stares here and there. People are always going to have something to say. But when was going to middle school, my mom and my stepdad decided to move us to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
So Charlotte is bigger. Of course, it's bigger than coming from the small town that I'm from. So I already didn't want to go because I already knew that I was going to get teased. And the middle school that I went to was Quail Hollow. So I started Quail Hollow, and I will say the first week was hell. Can I say
Wow.
that?
Yeah, you can
It
say
was
that.
hell.
Now let's
Um,
let's transition for a second because the reason why you were going through this whole thing is because of your condition. So why don't you
mhm.
explain your condition, the family history of your condition, and then let's go back to that part of the story because this is fascinating. Let's go
Mhm.
back to
No,
so go ahead and
okay,
tell
that's
us about your
fine.
condition because that's the big setup here.
Right. So if you guys don't know, albinism is I don't have any pigmentation in my hair, skin, or eyes. That's pretty much sums everything up. I'm very fair skinned. Me and my brother Marty, also known as Tay, we are the only one in our family with albinism. And the short term for that is albino, which a lot of people probably know it as albino. And it does affect our vision. However, some people can drive, some people can't. Unfortunately for me, I do not drive because of my vision, but I'm hoping one day, I'll be able to drive. My parents are not albino at all. So yeah, it's very interesting growing up because, like, I don't want to sound bad when I say this, but like me and my brother, we are the oddball because we are the only fair skinned, you know, people in our family. Yeah, but yeah, so we don't have any pigmentation in our hair, skin, or eyes. So we do burn easily in the sun. So we have to make sure that we wear sunscreen, wear sunglasses. We do wear glasses. However, I do need to wear my reading glasses a lot more. I don't. Um, but I'm gonna start back wearing them. My brother, he wears his all the time faithfully. He gets on me because I don't wear mine. But yeah, we do wear glasses. But we are thriving. We're still able to do what others are able to do. We just, lack low vision. And that's okay. But it doesn't hinder us from doing the things that we want to do.
Now, going back to your school years, you were saying
Mhm.
how difficult that year was.
Oh
Um,
yeah. So middle school, Quail Hollow. Um, it was more diverse. So it was very cultural, like I said, comparing to Indian land. So of course, I got stares. I got, oh, she looks like Casper, the friendly ghost. Like, I just got called all kinds of names. This girl thinks she's black or she's a wannabe, just a wannabe, like just saying all kinds of stuff. And I can remember I went home crying to my mom. I'm just like, can I just please go back to Indiana and live with my grandparents?
Wow.
Because I was a grandma's girl, so yeah, I was like, just let me go back with my grandparents. But my mom said no. She was like, let's just see how it is after the first month. Things got better. The same people that were teasing me were wanting to be my friend, and I get, you know, it's middle school. A lot of people are not aware of what this is. So some people just don't know. But it really hurt my feelings because why y'all being mean to me? I just have fair skin, and yeah, my eyes move, but I don't know. It was just like a very tough first month. But like I said, things got so much better. So I met friends, of course. My best friend Monique, I met her my sixth grade year. We've been friends for 23 years. We're still very close.
Wow.
And then when I started high school, we moved back to South Carolina. So I was able to go back to Indian Land and be with all my friends, from elementary. And that wasn't as bad because I feel like everybody knew me. And yeah, there were new people, but it wasn't a lot of teasing or anything. I went off to college. I went to an HBCU. So I was a little new because here I am, like being probably going to be the only albino at my school. And I was. And, people would say stuff here and there, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Um, so that was pretty good. And I met some really good friends who I'm still very close with in college. I'm still very close with them now. So yeah, it's been some times, I've had some pretty tough times, but I've overcame them. Like I said, I can remember I would ask my mom if she could paint me brown because I wanted to
Oh.
look like her and the rest of my family
Oh.
because I just did not want to be fair skinned.
Okay. So, Megan, if you would tell us how your children's book was written, how you came across the idea for writing your children's book, and how long it took to write it, and what the whole process was like.
Okay. So when it comes to my children's book, my daughter actually was the push that I needed. She was in third grade at the time. She came home from school, asked if I could um, write a letter to her class because she's tired of explaining to them what albinism is. So that just touched my heart, and so I was like, you know what? I'll do something even better. I'll write a children's book. And she was definitely the push I needed to write the children's book. Because of course people was asking her questions. Is she mixed? Is she adopted? Why does her mom look like this and that? So when it came to writing the book, it literally took me between 20 to 30 minutes to write it out because once I figured out the route I was gonna go as far as like using a albino little girl, which is Nellie, and then the squirrel Ollie, who has albino too, who is albino as well. Um, it was pretty easy because it's just a lived experience between me and my brother. So it was very easy to write. But with the editing process, it took some months because you don't have to find an illustrator, all that good stuff, editor. But I actually got my best friend to edit my book for me. Um, and my illustrator is actually from Pakistan.
Wow.
Yeah. I used her from, I don't know if you're familiar with the Fiverr app.
Yes.
Yep. I got her off of Fiverr. And the only thing about it is you have to message back and forth. You can't talk to them on the phone. So, I mean, it was fine. I was just very thorough and very like detailed on how I wanted things. But for the most part, the process was very smooth. So, that took a while, copyright, all that good stuff. And um, I learned a lot along the way because I'm self-published. So, it's kind of different than traditional publishing where you have a publisher to help you do all this. And I did it all on my own. So, there was some stumbling blocks along the way. But I got through those hurdles. And my goal was to release the children's book to the public. I wrote the book in February of 2021. Uh, I was turning 30 that year. So I had it all planned out. Oh, I was gonna have this lavish book release party and all that stuff, but life happened. So that did not happen. But the following year, November of 2022, I had a very intimate book signing with close family and friends. And my friends and family went all out. Like they really supported me. It was so nice. I gave my little speech. I was crying.
Oh.
um, it was really beautiful. And um, so I have people constantly asking me, Megan, when are you gonna release the book? And like I said, I feel like for me, I need to stop putting a date on things because you just don't know what's gonna happen. Like it's like every time I set a date, something happens and I'm not able to do it. So um let me see. The goal was to release it in 2024, but I got pregnant with my son. So I was like, oh, okay. Let me focus on being a mom because I hadn't been pregnant in a very long time. So then I was like, I will get it up and rolling in 2025. Okay, we're in 2026. I can't tell you what happened last year. I don't know why I didn't get the book out. I don't know. I was just maybe enjoying being a mom of two. Because my son is 1 and my daughter is 14. So it's an age gap there.
Mhm.
But I was like, no, this is the year to get it out there because I feel like there's so many people who still don't really know exactly what it is. And to be honest with you, I'm educating myself as well because it's a lot that comes with albinism.
Right.
So I'm getting it out there this year.
Now, my next question is, when do you think that your book will be out? I think that kids and adults everywhere would just love reading about that subject and learning about it.
Mhm.
And I also wanted to know if you've had a chance to read your book to kids yet and what
Okay.
their reception has been like.
Okay. So I do plan to release the book this summer to the public officially. I don't have an exact date yet, but for sure this summer. Just working on a few little things and plan to have it released this summer. And yes, I did read at a daycare a few years ago. It was very fun. That was my first, I guess, that was my first school event. So I read at a school. The kids really enjoyed it. Because it's me on the cover and Nellie and then the squirrel Ollie. And so all the kids were like, oh, it's you on the book. So it was so cute.
Oh,
And then when I got to the part where I was reading out, because in the part of the book is talking about affirmations. So I had them yell out positive affirmations and they enjoyed that. But I plan to have more speaking opportunities and visit more schools because I feel like that is important. But I gotta get the book out there. I gotta do all the good stuff to get it out there. So
right. Well, I know that you'd have a big audience for your book. I mean,
mhm.
it's such an interesting topic, and it would get adults talking about the
Mhm.
subject and kids talking, and that's important. So, wow, what a inspiring story. So, thank you for sharing it with us, Megan. I
Oh,
really
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
No problem.
So, hopefully you'll get it out there soon this year, and whenever
I
you
will.
do, I'll make sure to get the word out there on my social media. Now, also, where can people find you on social media?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram. It's underscore the golden impact underscore. Oh God, I may have told you wrong. But it's the golden impact. And then I can be found on Facebook as the golden impact as well.
All right, and I'll put those in my show notes also as
Okay.
well. All right. So Megan, thank you so much for doing the podcast. What an interesting topic, and wow, people have learned a lot just from this conversation. So thank you so very much, Megan. I truly
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And with that, that is the end of this episode of the Total Podcast with me, your host, Phil Scott. Everyone stay safe, be careful out there, take care of one another, and we will talk again soon.